Assalamu alaikum. This is Asna Sumer with my team member Mohammad Etsham Ahmed. We are final year students of Sakkar IB University in Electrical Engineering Department. Our final year project is titled as IoT based fleet management and monitoring system using OBD2 data, which is being supervised by Dr. Mohammad Asim Sameju. The content of this presentation is introduction, motivation, problem statement, aims and objectives, literature review, block diagram, and working result and discussions, conclusion and future work, references. Moving forward to the introduction. The term OBD stands for on-board diagnostic, and it is an automotive term referring to a vehicle's self-diagnostic and reporting capability. Management and monitoring of fleet can be done by several different strategies, but using IoT and OBD2 data is one of the powerful approach for getting the real-time data of one or more than one vehicles at a time. Further, the OBD2 specification is made mandatory for all cars sold in the United States since 1996, while in Asia, automobiles made in and after 2008 are OBD2 compliant. So we can easily use this already provided feature of automobile in this management and monitoring. In order to understand the OBD2 onboard diagnostic term with an easy example, let's take an example of room. I want to measure the temperature and the amount of oxygen in any room. What would be my normal practice? I will be interfacing an oxygen sensor, and the second sensor I will be using would be temperature sensor if I want to measure the temperature and the amount of oxygen in a room. So I will be interfacing these two sensors with some development board like Raspberry Pi, Arduino or Seed or any other development board. I will be of course doing some coding with the Arduino or the development board. In the end, I will be getting some real-time values that will define the amount of oxygen and the temperature of the room. This is the normal practice. Now, if I am going to make this room OBD, on-board diagnostic, I will make a law in that state for the civil construction companies, and the law will state that from today, every room, building, apartment, anything that relates to the civil work will be made with these two sensors. For example, I will make it mandatory for the civil workers that we only we will only provide the license to those civil companies that will interface these two sensors in the wall, and they will provide us some interfacing point like USB port or some UART port. From there we can get these values. So this would be an onboard diagnostic. How? Because now every room, every house will have these temperature sensors and oxygen sensors already embedded in the walls. And whenever I move to some other house or I will move in any other apartment, I will not be interfacing those sensors individually or Arduino, Raspberry Pi in order to get these values. This is called onboard diagnostic. This was done in 1996 in United States with all cars. For example, what are the parameters of cars? Like we want to measure the speed of vehicle, the acceleration, the battery voltages, etc. There are thousands of parameters, and this was made mandatory in Asia in 2008 and afterwards. So all the cars that are made in 2008 and after 2008, for example 2009, 2010 and onwards, these all vehicles are OBD2 compliant. They have already so many sensors in the vehicle. We can just interface and a type of scanner with the port. I will be defining those ports and each and everything related to these OBD2 values and all the process, and we can get just those values without interfacing any individual sensor. So this is the OBD2 port, which is actually by law should be 2 feet, around 2 feet of the steering wheel of your car. It's a 16 pin connector. It's a female port from where we can actually extract these values. Motivation for this project is management and monitoring of fleet can be done with several techniques, but this is actually a powerful approach, and I would say this is an actually a financially good approach, because interfacing all the individual sensor would cost so high. We can just simply interface a sensor and we can get these values, we can decode those values and just transmit those values to some IoT dashboard. So for me this was the motivation. Of course, this is not easy. Actually, OBD2 data is proprietary and requires reverse engineering to get meaningful data. Why? Because every manufacturer have their own protocols. Every manufacturer have interfaced some different sort of sensors. So when we are actually trying to get these values, they require reverse engineering. Further, the OBD2 data is actually sophisticated. It's not a piece of cake that I'm interfacing the sensor and I will get the speed in just 80 kilometers per hour form. No, it's not actually like that. It requires reverse engineering. The values we have gotten from these OBD2 are in the upcoming slides. So you guys will have the idea how difficult and sophisticated it is when we are dealing with OBD2 data. Aims and objective are actually to know what is IoT and how IoT can help us solve real-time problems. Actually, when we will fetch these OBD2 values of, we will be sending these values to some IoT dashboard so that we can easily monitor our vehicle is on board being diagnostic from any point of the world. To know the onboard diagnostic protocols of vehicle, to design a system that monitor a vehicle and get requires data of the vehicle parameter to decode the OBD2 data. So literature review, we have actually done a lot of literature review, but the most important is added in this slide. Cloud-based driver monitoring system. Yes, this was a very powerful paper that mainly focused on OBD2 PIDs. PIDs are actually parameter identities and DTC diagnostic trouble codes. Similarly, we also we have gone through the modeling of real-time fuel consumption. This was a powerful paper. Actually, this paper was helping. For example, if I want to compare the fuel consumption of two different models of the same manufacturer, let's say Toyota has a model in 2012 and then they launched some updated model in 2016, and I want to know the what's the difference of fuel consumption. Actually, OBD2 data can help in that case very easily. This is the block diagram. We are actually, vehicle is interfaced with an OBD2 Bluetooth module, which is actually a scanner that will be connected with the female OBD2 port in the vehicle. Then we are wirelessly connecting this OBD2 scanner with the Raspberry Pi, and Raspberry Pi will have some sort of code that will fetch the OBD2 value, and after that it will be converting that OBD2 value, decode it and then send it to the cloud. Same is the case, we are using USB to TTL converter and GPS receiver module for tracking the location of vehicle. This is the actually our working here. The port, this is the OBD2 port. We will be interfacing the OBD2 scanner module like this, the blue one, ELM 327. ELM is the manufacturer of this module. Now this is the interface and coding of Raspberry Pi, and we have interfaced it and successfully bind the connection of OBD2 with the vehicle for getting the values. Now coming to the result and discussions of OBD2 data, this is actually the request we have made in hex form to the OBD2 port. The response we get from this vehicle is like this. I will be explaining. Actually the request made is actually 010C. 01 is the mode, we get the real time data, and 0C is actually for measuring the RPM and speed of the vehicle, and 0D this is for the speed, 0C is for RPM. Now coming to the mode and PID, just same. 01 is the mode, 0C is PID. Here 1 byte mode 01, actually we have I have here explained different. I have attached different PIDs of 01 mode. This is the actually response format of each response. These are the modes. 01 is showing us the current data. If I want to fetch current data, I will be typing 01 in the start, and after that in 01 mode there are thousands of PIDs like 0C, 0D, double A, double nine. Every PID has some parameter that will fetch data of that parameter. For example, 01 and 0C is fetching actually the current RPM of the vehicle. This is the decoding. The 7E8 is an identifier, and which means 7E8, if we decode the 7E8, it means actually we are getting this data from the engine control unit. ECU stands for engine control unit. 04 actually identifies the hex length. 04 means we will get 4 values after this value. This is actually a very powerful approach. For example, if I am getting the half data or incomplete data, this 04 will clear my data, that in case if I am getting half of the value, there would be less than 4 hex values, and I will easily understand that these values are not complete. 41 is actually the success code is actually 40 plus mode. I have already stated that we are using 01 mode current data, so 40 plus 1 is actually 41. Now 0C was the request made for the RPM, and the rest, the last two hex values are actually the result of RPM. Now we have labeled this as A and B, and we will be decoding this in the next slide. 3803. This is the decoding. We have done 010C 3808. When we decode this, actually every PID has a specific formula. So 3586 is actually the RPM value. This is how OBD2 data is decoded. Now simply we have, after decoding this, we have use UB dot dashboard for displaying these values in some meaningful graphics. This is the RPM, speed, fuel level, battery volts. 100 of parameters could be displayed as per the requirement of vehicle user. These are some clips from while we were working on. Coming to the conclusion, the developed IoT-based smart fleet management and mounting system using OBD2 is implemented on Asian vehicles. We have tested actually the system on 3 different vehicles: Daihatsu Mira 2017 model, Toyota Aqua 2012, Suzuki Alto 2012. The system is going to be an important tool for the public and fleet management companies for collecting information regarding the vehicle. Original contribution: we have designed a hardware-based system that can fetch OBD2 data in raw form. Further, it can decode that data, and using the Python programming, we have sent that data to the IoT UBDOT's dashboard. Future work, actually it is recommended that this work must be carried out on different vehicle models. Only 3, working on 3 is not enough. At least more than 10 to 20 models should be used in the future work. Further, AI is actually can be used for the engine. For example, if I have decoded the data and I have fetched the data of vehicle during the 01 current data mode, I can encounter that when a vehicle creates problem, we can easily work on AI and OBD2 accordingly for future engine failure prediction. The system can be designed can be used in future research purposes for understanding or comparing the carbon footprints of vehicles. Of course, as I stated earlier, that we can compare two or more than two models. For example, in the earlier I stated an example of fuel consumption, that we can compare two models for getting the uh, data that which model is actually good in fuel consumption. Same can be done with carbon footprints, same can be done with the different parameters. These are the references.
This is the poster of our project and the overall summarized work of our project. So you can see